Hello, everyone. I don't have a legit introduction yet, but I guess briefly we can start off with the fact that my name is Allison. Um, I'm going to be wearing normal clothes in all of these videos, except for maybe when it comes to talking about personal image, just because I don't want people to feel intimidated or just anything along those lines when we talk about things other than personal image. And I get that first impressions are important, but for the series that we're pretty much going to star and a few others, I want people to feel comfortable. I want people to feel like a friend is talking to them or a family member or whatever. I don't want to be dressed in a suit and have these conversations with people. I want it to be more real and more of who I am, to a degree. But I understand the personal image stuff is going to be more professional than these. Don't even really know where to start. Let's see. I guess we'll just do a brief background on myself. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I am 28 years old. I'm married. I've been married for 5 years. I have 3 dogs. A German Shepherd named Rocco, a Shih Tzu Maltese Yorkie looking thing named Stacy, and a 16-year-old diabetic blind Chihuahua named Mimi. Rocco we've had since he was a baby. Stacy and Mimi we got from my husband's mom and stuff, which they had both of them since they were babies. Which we're not going to get into that. But let's see. I did join the military. I was in the Marine Corps for just under 4 years because unfortunately I did get medically separated. But based off everything that happened during my time in the military, even if I was not medically separated, I don't think I would have re-enlisted, which is sad because going into the military, I wanted to do 20 years, retire. I wanted to be a chief warrant officer, all that jazz, and it was horrible. I don't regret joining, but that was horrible. Let's see. Before then, life was just kind of a shit show. I mean, it was a shit show in the military too. But even prior to the military, it just was when you're growing up and stuff, you kind of think, everybody's living kind of the same life as you, especially if you're going to a school where everybody is, to an extent, living the same kind of life as you. You don't really know or think about the fact that there's other people that are having better experiences than you, and there are other people that are having worse experiences than you. As a kid, you just kind of go with the flow, and then when you're an adult and you look back and you're kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what was going on back then? Like, I don't even know. And those people that were born in like the 70s and 80s, I don't know what y'all and y'all's parents went through. There was some wild times back in those decades. But so we moved around a lot. In high school alone, I went to 4 different high schools. 1 year alone was 3 different high schools in 1 year. That was the worst year when it came to my grades. It went from being in a sit-down classroom to an online classroom back to a sit-down classroom, and that was extremely difficult. We lived in some higher end places before where it was one of those things where it was like we which I don't know what their financial situation was like, but it was basically like we made enough to live in that district of the nicer schools and where the richer people lived, but like then we didn't make enough to like live that lifestyle, you know? Like we still wore clothes from like Walmart, Target, you know, which didn't necessarily bother me, because I honestly couldn't care any less about material things. But when you go to a school where everybody else is wearing Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, Pink from Victoria's Secret, you know, and kids aren't nice, you know, and you're constantly being like teased and bullied for the fact that you don't look like everybody else, you know. So that was middle school, and that was, you know, it is what it is. But so middle school, I actually did spend all 3 years at the same middle school. Elementary school, so we went back and forth a lot between my mom and dad in those earlier years that I honestly don't remember what year I was in what state before 5th grade. 5th grade we were in California. I have like glimpses here and there of Head Start, which really I only have like one little memory of that, and I don't know if it all happened the same day or if they were different days or whatever. But like being born until 5th grade is like all just a jumbled mess. I don't know where we were at during what, like I know at one point we were in Antioch with my dad. I don't know if we were going to school then. I don't know really how old we were. I know that we were playing with our cousins and stuff and other kids in the area, but I don't recall ever going to school there. I remember looking at schools in Oregon around the elementary age, but I don't think I actually went to school there. We were up there for a little bit with my dad because I remember we went to a babysitter's house every day. But like I don't remember going to school. I don't remember any of that before the 5th grade. I remember one year we went to summer school. I believe we were in California, but I don't know what school we we went to. I'm pretty sure that was before 5th grade. I have like little memories here and there of like being in school or playing at school, but I don't know what school it was. I don't know like. Anyways, and we were in foster care growing up for 2 years, 3, 2. I know it was more than 1 year. Or I think it was a year. I don't really know. Okay, like I said, it's like a jumbled mess because we were little then. I was probably like 4 or 5. Maybe in foster care, and I do remember quite a bit from foster care. We were in California during that time. Then we went to my dad's, and we weren't supposed to, but we went anyways. So that was a huge mess. It was just custody battles our whole entire childhood, you know. And it really sucked, you know, but I'm gonna try not to get into that during this video, but that's like a brief background of, oh, well, I guess I should mention really quick, my mom and dad were never married. They split when we were all really young, and then I have an older sister that shares the same mom and dad, a younger sister that shares the same mom and dad, a little brother that shares same mom, different dad. And then we found out later on, probably about middle school age, that we actually had another sister, shared the same dad, different mom. We didn't know she existed until we were probably like 10 or 12 or something like that. Um, I don't even really know how the conversation even came up, but I know that my little sister, I think, kind of found her on Facebook and kind of started that herself. Um, yeah, it was crazy because when my dad, we finally made contact with her and stuff, she was like in her late 20s. Or she's like 33 or something now. And we've known her, well, we met her in 2015. Okay, so yeah, she was like late 20s, okay? Mid to late 20s. Um, we, they had reached out to her and everything, and when I graduated boot camp, it was over in South Carolina, and she lived in Virginia, which is not far. Those of you who know the map, it's not far from Virginia. It's like right there, okay? So when I got out of boot camp, my dad came over to the graduation and all of that jazz, and we actually spent some time in Virginia to go see her and meet her and her two kids. Which at that point we had like chatted on video chat and stuff like that, but we hadn't actually seen her. That was the first time my dad had seen her since she was 6 months old. From what I understand, him and that lady's relationship just wasn't good. She kind of said, hey, I'm taking the kid and I'm leaving. And there wasn't really much he, could do. They were all kind of on drugs and stuff. So it just, wasn't a good situation. But she, just doing good over there. So yeah, interesting. And then my little brother has two twin brothers, and or would it just be twin brothers? And I think he has a sister. Anyways, sorry, somebody had messaged me on Facebook. Let's see. Yeah, I've been married for 5 years. Before the military, I was in some not so good relationships, which we will get into as the series goes. Because this first kind of series is going to be more about like our mindset, our life, our thought process, how we adapt and evolve and can change our lives and who we are and certain things. And I'm telling you that you can change certain things. Of course, there are a lot of things that we cannot change. There are a lot of things that we can change. You just have to be willing to put in the work to make that change. That's where a lot of people fail, because it's easier to say, oh, that's just who I am. Oh, I can't change that. I was just born that way. No, you weren't. Now, I'm not talking about medical things. We'll get into all of that later on. But you can. You can make your life better. But it all starts with one thing and one thing only. And I will say it until the day that I die. It all starts with that one thing. The relationship that you have with yourself. So we're going to get into that in this next video. I'll give you a little bit of background on the things that I've gone through, and we'll start with childhood first. We won't get into the relationships just yet. So thank you for watching my introduction video to this series that we're about to start, okay? And then in this next video, I'll kind of get into why I'm doing this, what's the point, you know, and why should anybody care? So, moving on to the next one, thank you if you watched this one, and I will see you in the next video.